Hi, everyone. I am Lorianne. I am from Milton, Ontario, Canada, and I am with.
I am Roy Miller from Dallas, Texas. I am that guy, and this is how we see it.
So we have today wonderful guest, Cristian, who we're going to be speaking about transformation and how he journeyed there. And Roy, you have the first question.
Yeah. So we're talking about transformation. So can you kind of go back to where you started, and then why why you decided
Of course,
and
great
how
question,
you
Roy. My
transformed?
name is Cristian Hauser. Thank you for having me here, both you and Lori. When I grew up in Peru, in not the most richest country, I grew up in a very small town, and eventually I made it here to America at the age of 13. So I have always been obsessed with the idea of becoming successful because I have always to anybody outside the United States, that's always the idea of the American dream: buying a car, buying a house, and providing for your family, your mom and dad. That's always been the American dream.
Mhm.
So I decided to seek for that, becoming successful. Um, During 2017, I met wonderful people. Grant Cardone was introduced to me, and great people that I thought, wow, they say 10x and they say all these incredible things. Let me seek for that. And it really inspired me to achieve greatness. During that year, I was able to focus so much on the current work that I was doing that I was able to make over $1 million in commission sales.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
currently, yeah, I was, I'm currently working as what you would call it is called an account executive for Sprint, for Sprint Communications. And in very layman's terms, just I go knocking on your door and says, let's get you some services. I was so inspired that I knocked so many doors and so many places and I got so many no's, but I got $1 million in commissions. And that really, to me, that was the top of the iceberg. I was like, yes, this is it. I made my American dream. Let me go ahead and buy my parents a house. I'll buy my parents everything that they wanted. Unfortunately, just like with anything else in the world, you can be all the way up. When you climb the mountain, eventually you're going to climb down. And I got stumbled by different things. I had a couple partners when I was trying to work on different investments, and they swindled me for my money. They took every cent I had, everything. They left me penniless. I woke up one day and I have $87 in my account. And I felt in a complete depression and I didn't know how to get up. I tried to go back with Cardone and 10Xs and everything, but I just couldn't make it myself back up. It was an incredible journey and I couldn't figure it out. I kept going through a year passed, another year passed, and I couldn't find my way. And ironically, during 2020, well, now in 2020, a lot of different friends were seeking out, says, oh, Cristian, I want to work in different projects with you. And I was like, sure, let me start working on them. But then the pandemic hit and everything shut down. So I was like, well, okay, well, everything's shutting down. And I felt again that urge. I felt like I was failing again. Like I became successful and I was falling again. Worst feeling of my life. But I made a couple mentors. I made a mentor. I read this book called The 3 Feet from Goal. Really great book. It's a book I recommend every single person because in the book it mentions how sometimes you can just be 3 feet away from your biggest opportunity. So I decided, you know what? And I kept that in my head. I'm like, you know what? I lost before, but maybe it wasn't meant for that. Maybe there's something else I'm trying to seek and I'm just there, but I'm just 3 feet away from goal. So I joined different masterminds. I joined a mastermind with my good mentor, Greg Reed. And he always says, you know, Cristian, the problem that you have is that you need to seek counsel, not opinions. If I want to create a website, I cannot go to someone who has never created a website because they're going to tell you, oh, don't do it. It never works. No one goes to websites, right? But if you go to someone that already built a website, they're going to tell you, yes, you know what? This is what you're going to need to do. This is how you start. I recommend these programs and everything else. It's different conversation. And I decided to start seeking that. So I joined a lot of different webinars and different promotions. And there was one in particular. It was the business COVID-19 webinar by Scott Duffy. And he introduced probably like 100 people in there. There was people like Grant Cardone, Elena Cardone, Greg Reed, Sharon Lecter, all these incredible people met in this place. But there was one person that stood out for me. It was Forbes Riley. She came into when she was doing the interview with Scott Duffy. She was the only person that was able to turn the tables around. Because normally when it's an interview, it's always about mainly the host. The host will ask questions and everything, but she turned it around to put him in the hot seat. It was an incredible thing to see someone like Scott Duffy, like on his words, just stumbling, and he was trying to figure it out. And I was like, wow, who is this woman that just put someone like Scott Duffy on his nervousness and everything, and he's so confident, and he lost it, like his confidence. And I was like, let me search about her. And I took her pitch master class, which is like $19. It's like the price of a pizza. And I was like, let me take that class. And from that class, it was all I needed to know, that I needed to follow this woman. She delivers so many incredible values during that class that I was in awe. I was like, wow, she just gave me a whole life lesson in just the 2 hours that I am with her, that all the people, all the books have given me all my life. So I decided to start following her. And then she said, okay, well, I have this other class. And at first I'm like, man, I don't know if I really want to take the class. I don't know if it's for me, but I was like, you know what? What did my mentor said? Always 3 feet away from goal, right? So I decided to take the class. And just like I seen Lori in that class, it was very stunning. It helped me regain a confidence that I thought I had lost. It made me realize, you know what? I can be successful again. There's nothing I should be afraid of. And I took that class, and once I finished the class, I was like, wow, I felt better. I stood up better. People around me were like, Cristian, did you did something where you went to some sort of like healing factor or something? Because you seem livelier. Something about you is different. And I was like, yes, you can say I went to a healing factor. And then from there, I took a different class, her breakthrough class, which, oh my goodness. In there it was like a 2-day, like almost a full 2 days on just who you are and stopping your limiting beliefs. And I was like, at first I was a little afraid of it because I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work for me. I mean, I know I have this thing going on, but I don't know if it's something that can be solved in 2 days. I mean, I taken therapy and nothing had helped me. And I took those classes and it just mind blew me. And it wasn't just about what she was doing for me, but everybody in the room that was also part of this class was changing. And it was such a beautiful thing to see people that they were so well composed. They thought they had the world together, and they break down because of that one belief, because of that one memory. And it's an incredible thing to see, because you don't see that from anybody. If I go up to a lot of different gurus of today or influencers, they're like, oh yeah, be great, do this and you'll be great. And well, great, thank you. I'll go ahead and do that right now. But with her, she actually she doesn't tell you, I don't know if I can say the word BS in here, but she doesn't stop any BS. Just like, no, Cristian, this is not, don't be doing this. I need you to be focusing on and just that type of coaching was what helped me realize, wow, she's not like anybody else. She's a very intense, tough coach, and mentor. And after that, I decided to continue, and I took her like her highest level class, her OPP, and that class, outstanding. She made me realize who I am. I have always been a little, especially in this country, I have always been a little ashamed of being Spanish, because I talk and my accent sound, and people like, oh no, this is America, you talk English, you don't talk Spanish here. And there's a lot of that feedback around here. I live in Miami, so you get a lot of that feedback. And it's always a little shame, because if I ever go out with friends that speak Spanish, I always would talk to them in English. I didn't want them to know that I speak Spanish or that I was Spanish. And that really, to me at first I thought it wouldn't bother me, but in the back of my head I was like feeling the shameness of it. I was feeling, wow, I'm letting my culture down, I'm letting my parents down for this. And she was able to find out, make me very confident, actually made me feel very proud of my culture, of who I am, of my heritage. She made me realize that that's what makes me unique. That's what makes me feel very sexy. when I go into a place and they hear my accent, they're like, wow, Christian, that's a sexy accent. And I'm like, you are 100% right. There is one sexy accent, right? And it's those things that made me want, like, made me love her so much and help me transform. If I tell you that just before May, which is the time I met her, I was a very shy kid. Like whenever I go into Zooms, I didn't even want to put my Zoom camera because I was like, ah, they don't want to see my face. Who wants to interview me? You know, I haven't done anything great, and it was those things that helped me transform to the man that I am. It helped me. There is a word that she uses that I love. It's Forbes. What it means is that she manifest is to manifest something that you always have dreamed. And to me, I have always wanted to be very proud, like feel very confident. Where when people look at me, they see respect. When people say, "Wow, Christian, I want to invite you over," or "Let's have a chat." And actually, when Lori did that a couple of days ago, it brought me the biggest smile because I was realizing that I was manifesting that dream, that I was manifesting what I was looking. And a lot of people have invited me and everything. And I really want to thank you, Lori, because that you don't understand how fantastic that made me feel.
You're very
And
welcome.
yeah, and that's how my transformation is going. And now the only way I see it is going back up at the top.
Look,
Roy, did you
Christian,
have a question?
yeah, Christian, just let me, you were talking about your Spanish heritage and all. Let me tell you something. When I was growing up, of course, I'm from the States, okay? So when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of Hispanics in Texas at the time, okay? And like when I was in junior high school, we might have had 5 or 6. In high school, maybe 10 or 12, okay? Fast forward to today, there's a lot of Hispanics in the United States. And
Correct.
when I was growing up, the kids that were Hispanic, uh, a lot of times their parents didn't speak Spanish at home because they didn't want their kids to learn English. So, they said, no, you need to learn English. Nowadays, you know, it's good to know Spanish. As a matter of fact, I have a daughter-in-law from Honduras.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, of course, she's bilingual, but yeah, so don't ever feel bad about speaking Spanish or being Spanish in the U.S. Don't ever feel bad about that because you shouldn't. You should be proud.
They used to
No,
say
and I
that
agree.
they used to say French was really important to know as a second language, a good one to know. But now they're saying that Spanish is actually becoming the second most
Mm-hmm.
important one next to English. I just saw that on a show the other day, actually. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. No, no, and it's something incredible because here in Miami now, I've been noticing now, I notice it more often, is whenever you go to anywhere in Miami, you could go to a restaurant, they automatically talk to you in Spanish. They're like, hi, how you doing in Spanish? And a lot of English speakers, they feel like, where am I? And it's now I see it more confident and I laugh because I'm like, wow, why was I ever ashamed of this? You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you said you were 30 years old when you came over. Is that what you said?
13.
Oh, 13. I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. 13. But still, you made $1 million.
Yes. The funny part is I really like a lot of people's dreams is always saying, oh, I want to make $1 million. And that's always when you ask people, oh, what is one of your dreams? They're like, oh, I want a financial independence. I want $1 million. When you have $1 million, you realize it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you actually start, because the more money you make, the higher your expenses become. I don't know what's the universe trying to balance you out or what it is.
Because you can afford it. That's why.
All of a sudden, I went to the same restaurants and I felt like instead of paying $8 for food, I was paying somehow $20 for the same food. And I was like, what's going on in here? And, and that's when you realize, wow, this is not like, it wasn't a lot of money. Then you start, if you actually do research on certain people, one of the things I like to do is I always like to look at very financial people. And there's one person in particular, like this actress, I can't remember her last name, is Alba something. She's always like, she basically has around like $353,100 million, and her husband only had like maybe like $2 million, $5 million. But when you compare them the both to like over 100,000 million dollars, and then just $2 or $3 million, you're like, wow, I can see now how small this number is compared to this other number. This is the goal, and this is like, okay, this is okay, good, but I need to be here. You know what I mean? So it's incredible.
It's interesting. So how did you get into doing what you're doing now? Because I saw your website, Live Greatness, which is great. And you're basically promoting a lot of Forbes and her sayings, and that's interesting. How did you come across doing that?
So I reached out to Forbes, and we had a class, or Crash on Camera class towards the end. She was saying, hey, look, guys, I have this other class, and I would like to see how, I would like to see all of you guys go to this class. But there was two women in there that really wanted to take this class. They were like, look, Forbes, I want to really take this class, but I just can't afford it. I just, I already put all my money in this, and I really want to, and you could see them, like it was in their face that they really wanted to take this opportunity, but they couldn't. And that broke, like that, so resonated in my heart. It was something about that moment, and seeing them, because I had just experienced a couple of days with them, and seeing them really wanted to have something, but they just couldn't afford it. And then one person in our class said, I'll pay $100 towards the class. And another person said $100 and $100 and $100. And he actually ended up paying for the class. And I thought to myself, wow, that's amazing. But I also knew that not everybody in different classes might have the same chance as all of us that were here. We all donated chip in. So I thought, if only there was a way or some sort of product that we can, like, let's say I sell this type of product, and whatever like profits, like let's say a certain amount of profit, 50% of the profit can go towards helping these type of students. So then I thought, if there was a way to mix Forbes and that idea that I'm trying to build in. So I talked to Forbes, and we eventually, I told her, I actually made this poster for her just as a gift. And I'm like, oh, look, Forbes, this is a gift. Here you go, just because I'm always building posters like this. And then something just sparked one day in my head. I'm like, well, what if I start making, like, at first I started thinking, what if I start making all these pieces of art, and whatever profit I get, I donate it towards like some sort of scholarship, so that other people that really want to take it to the next level could. And then from there, I thought, okay, this. And then all of a sudden, the shirt came to me, because I made this shirt just like for fun. And when I wore it, I was like, well, damn, I feel very empowered. Like something about wearing, like when I wore this Forbes shirt, I was like, I feel sexier. I feel more confident. I walked around, people like, what does Forbes mean? I'm like, I'm manifesting my dreams. That's what it means. And people were really loving it. And I was like, you know what? What if other people feel like me too? What if when they wear this shirt, they're like, hey, Cristian told me I look sexy. Damn, I look sexy on this shirt. It look comfortable. So I was like, okay, the Forbes shirt, that's got to be the magic. So I worked very hard on it. I built the website. The funny part is that the website building is what takes the longest than building the shirt. And I did that, and I was like, okay, so I partnered with Forbes, and I told her, Forbes, whatever profit I make from this business, I want to be able to help all the students. And I want us to build a scholarship, because Lauren, you have been on some of the classes. There is so many people out there that you can just see that they need a breakthrough, that you can just see that they just like 3 feet away from their goal. Like it's just like they're there, but something is holding them back. And no one wants to meet it, but something, a memory, maybe somewhere in between them, have made them like, we're like, I want to reach greatness, but I can't. And that's why I set up to build this. I partner with Forbes so that we can help all the people, because my idea is I don't want to change the world. I want to empower and dress the people that are going to change the world.
I love that. That's really interesting. That's just lovely. And I know you're right about the breakthrough. She gave almost, I guess, a little bit of an example of that during one of the masterminds. And it was just, really, really amazing. And but you got to be open to it, eh? Because I mean, like you said, Forbes is like you're straight on. She's going to say it as it is. She'll put you on the hot seat anytime. Like I remember I turned all red when she was talking to me at one point. Well, explain, what do you do? It's like, and so yeah, it's really changed. And the Crush on Camera was great. I took that one. I haven't taken the breakthrough, but I've seen what can be done, and I probably should.
You really should, Larry.
With. So,
I went there without thinking that there was something that was gonna help me. Like I'm like, I don't need help with anything. I'm fine. You know, I'm 30. Like I'm about to be 30. I don't have any problems. Because you always think, oh, you have to have, you know, I'm much older to have problems, right? But I went there and it was out of nowhere. I broke down because I realized, oh my God, I do have a limited belief. And once I let that go, of that I am the man who I am now.
That's awesome. Roy, did you have another question?
Well, I was just thinking back, you know, you were talking about, you know, you wanted to come to the U.S. for the American dream, you know, and from somebody that's lived here, you know, I'm, you know, an American, been here my life. And, you know, we all, even us, we think of the American dream. Okay. But the difference is, I think, is we kind of take it for granted, I guess, would be the way to say it. I mean, it's, you know, we're here, everything's just kind of like normal to us, okay? You know, because I haven't been where you've been, you know, and so, and like my daughter-in-law from Honduras, you know, they were fine there. You know, her mom was good, you know, and but you know, even when she came here to go to college, I mean, I can't imagine. She was 18 years old. She left Honduras, come to the United States to go to college. I wouldn't have wanted to go out of state when I was 18. I really didn't want to go out of Dallas when I was 18. But she went to a completely different country, went to college for 4 years, and then she stayed here. Now, a lot of her family has came here to go to college and went back, you know, and of course now she's a U.S. citizen. But, you know, once she lived here for a while, she said, well, there's no way I could go back. You know, she became Americanized. But, you know, I think for someone like you know, you actually wanted the American dream and you achieved the American dream, you know. And there are a lot of people that have come here and done what you've done. Not everyone, but a lot of people have. So I commend you on that. And I've been here my whole life and I haven't made $1 million.
Well, you're maybe 3 feet away from goal. So don't ever stop. It's never too late. Like if you ever hear the stories, it's never too late. You know, and it's incredible because once you start seeing abundance, once you make it, there was people always say that once someone wins the lottery, they always feel like they can always win it again, like no matter what, right? And it's the same principle because I believe that once you see the abundance, once you realize, wow, this is achievable, or wow, this is not like this is still not enough, I want to get more, then you realize all the different opportunities. Everything comes to you with opportunities. You realize, oh, I can make money here, or I can make money there. And it's incredible because the one country that is possible, it will be here in America. Like in other countries, you're very limited to resources. You're very limited to, okay, I cannot do this because the government comes and tells me no. Or I cannot do online because the internet prohibits me from going to certain websites. And here in America, we do have a lot of freedoms that allow us to achieve those things, that allow us to, okay, you know what, if I want to go do this, I can. If I want to go do this, I can. There's nothing really stopping you. You know, of course, well, now the pandemic is making a little things a little harder. But the great thing about the pandemic is it's not about the things that are making it, like, for example, like, oh, this is, I can't believe I can go to like the supermarket and buy mask. I have to wear a mask and everything. I agree. It is very uncomfortable. Sometimes I have to wear it and I have to walk through those arrows. God, it drives me insane sometimes, right? But then I think, what about the people who are selling the mask? They saw an opportunity, and now, you know, those people that sell the mask with like custom designs, like, oh, you know, funny faces. I'm like, wow, those people, instead of seeing, oh, I can't believe I wear masks, they're like, they saw the opportunity and they're like, well, let me take this, make a business out of it. And I personally have seen someone that was at point zero, started with it, the whole pandemic started. He created like simple masks, just black masks. Uh, and now he actually had made over $1 million in just this, what, like 3 months or something.
Yeah.
And it's incredible because there's always the people that are going to, oh, they're going to, something hits them hard and they stop believing, and oh, it's complicated. Hey, I'm one of those people, trust me. But then there's the people that see, okay, this is a great opportunity. Let me take it and figure out something and make it to the top. And it's phenomenal because only in this country can I see something like that happen.
Well, one thing you said, like your journey, you went up and then you went back down. Okay. And what I see the difference is yeah, you may have went back down, but you didn't stop. You didn't quit. You dusted
Correct.
yourself off and said, okay, I can do this. I just need to refocus, readjust, and move forward. Many people, when they go down, they failed. I'm a failure. And then they stay right there.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
the mindset, you've got the mindset.
That's right. A lot of people told me that when they saw that I lost everything, and I opened my account and I had $87. A lot of people told me, "Wow, we were worried about you because we thought that you were gonna, I don't know, jump over a bridge." Or the reality is, a lot of people end up doing something similar. It's unfortunate, and it. I said for a while. I remember a whole week I was sitting there and I contemplated a lot of things. It was a moment in my life that I felt like if someone came in and took a leg out of me, like they're like, "Oh, give me your leg," and now I'm like, "Oh, I don't have a leg. How am I gonna walk?" But I sat there and I was like, "Okay, what do I have?" I realized, well, I have a home. I'm not living in the streets. I started becoming grateful for the things I have. Okay, I have a home. I have the mind, like you said, I have the mindset. I already know how this is possible. If I did it once, then I can do it again. I realized all the great people around my life. Okay, the funny part is that when I was making like a lot of money and I made $1 million, I had tons of friends. All these people were like, "Hey, let's be friends." And when I got to a place, everybody was coming along. But then when you have $87, all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, Christian, you know what? I'm too busy." And the funny thing is that I was giving money to a lot of people. I was like, they're like, "Oh, Christian, can I borrow some money?" "Oh, here you go. Don't worry about it. Pay me when you can." And then when I was at $87, I started reaching them like, "Hey, look, I know I borrow you some money. It's okay if you give me part of it." They're like, "Oh, well, Christian, I'll call you back. Oh, I'll call you back." So I took this and I was like, you know what? This has been the best thing that could happen to me because I realized one, the right people that I need to be with. Because some people stuck with me even if I had a penny. They didn't care. They were actually feeding me, which is something that to me is very deep to my heart. Those people that were stuck around. My current girlfriend, she got walked away from me. She's like, "Wow, you can afford to buy me things anymore? I'm out." Right? But no, she stuck with me. She actually worked harder so that I can try to figure out myself back again. She was taking care of things just like Christian. If you need anything, and it really made me appreciate her. And I started writing down things that I was grateful for.
Hey, you need to
Like,
marry
I'm
that
grateful for
girl.
this.
You need to marry that girl. There's not many of them around.
You know what? That's funny because I was planning on, but then the pandemic came and it makes it a little difficult to take her out to a nice place. I'm like, "Hi," in my living room, I'll be like, "You want to marry me in my living room?" So it just, it's just something I'm working. Hopefully she doesn't see this because I don't want to ruin the surprise, but something I'm planning on. But, one of the things I always say to a lot of people is just write the things that you're grateful for. Are you able to breathe? Do you have a pulse? Do you have a home under your roof? Because in here in Florida, it rains all the time. You're gonna be very grateful you have a roof under you. Can you drive? Do you have a job? There's so many other things. Your family alive, your mom and dad. And when you start writing all the things you're grateful for, you realize that the things you're like panicking about, they're very small compared to all the great things that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you said, Roy, it's all about the right mindset. That's what really helps you get to the next level.
Actually, it was funny that you're saying that because I lost everything at one time too. And I was living in a barn. I lived there for 3 years with no running water. When I finally got an apartment, I had a roof over my head. I was grateful. And the people that stuck by me, like you, same thing. but I still always laugh about the fact when I finally got a normal apartment, the first thing I did was go to the toilet and just flush it and go, wait for it. Yay, no more rainwater. The little things, you know, that people don't understand. A toilet that flushes is a big thing. Like, it's big.
Oh, it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
You know, but you were talking about, Christian, you know, all those people around you when you had a lot of money and stuff, you know, and the thing is, there's friends and there's acquaintances, and there's people you know, and most people, if you talk about really a true friend, they're lucky if they have 5 in their whole circle of people. I mean, I'm talking about a true friend, you know, because they don't bail on you when times get tough. They're there more for you, you know. So I guess you found out a lot in that little experience.
Oh, I did. And it was just like you said, it was like I can count them with my hand. You know, I realized, okay, this, they're like the people that I need to stick with. And it's amazing because at the beginning, I didn't think much of them, you know, because everybody's always there and they always do the same thing. I'm like, oh, they were good friends of mine, but I didn't thought about them that well. I'm like, oh, because you always have in the back of your head, I'm always having the mentality, oh, they're here because of my money, right? No, I'm here because I take them to places. Oh, they're here because we go to fancy restaurants. But then when I saw that I was down in the bottom and they were still here and they didn't care if we just went to like any place to eat and they're like, oh, Christian, look, I'll buy you McDonald's or I'll buy you wherever you like. Let's go get funny because Steak and Shake became my favorite place to go because they were affordable and the shakes could feed me up for a long time. And they didn't care. They were like, they came and we all just had it. And funny thing is that I was having a lot more fun than when I was going out to these high-end restaurants and everything because it felt kind of like it wasn't me. When I was doing all these things, I realized it wasn't me. You know, it wasn't someone that I am. And it actually, funny part is that it was making me depressed too in a way. I was like, oh, I'm going to all these places and I'm not feeling anything. But then I was going to Steak and Shake with some friends and we were having a blast. We were talking about like the smell of the place and we were like, man, why is the order taking so long? You know, I waited in line for like 2 hours one time and I was like, why are we still here? But it's those little moments that you really start remembering and you're grateful for, just like Lori said, like flushing the toilet. It's like a lot of times we take it for granted until your AC goes out or your electricity goes out. You're like, oh my God, how do I cook? How do I do this? How do I do that? And it's like you guys say, it's something that we take for granted, but it's the little things like that.
Hey, your girlfriend being there through all that, that should tell you a lot. You need to hang on to that gal.
Yeah, we've been together 9 years. So she knew me in my very bottom when I didn't even have a mindset to like, I got a mindset to I made a lot of money to I lost everything. And now I'm where I am today, you know, to like regaining everything again. And, you know, it's funny because
she's been there the whole time, right?
It has been the whole time. I mean, we always have little fights, you know, because
but
we always try to be right.
Hey, but there's not many people that can say that.
That is right.
That is right. And I'm speaking from experience. I've been married 49 years, so and you know,
wow.
My wife, you know, she's always been there, always. That's the one person I can always count on. So don't let her get away. I'm just saying.
Oh no, of course. No, it's very important. Like the people that you like that you end up in a relationship is very important because they can. I've seen it with other friends where like it can either go straight and it's a wonderful thing like what I have, or it can go the other way. You know, it can go bad. It can be. I've seen people change because of their relationships. I lost really good friends to bad relationships. And you know, it's like you said, like you're 100% right, Roy. I shouldn't let her go away. And I don't know what. Now that you have said that, like, it's like, why am I wasting? Why am I not doing it yet? You know. So thank you, Roy. Thank you.
Make sure that you let us know when it happens. And you know what, her being the way she was, I was thinking, you know, I don't want to do it in my living room. I bet you she wouldn't care.
No, you know what? She'll definitely didn't care. She wouldn't care if I do it like right here, you know, but it's to me, it's like, you know, she has done so much for me that I want to give her so much more, you know, so that's what my mentality is right now.
Nice. Well, really, thank you very much. And why don't you, you know, let people know who are listening, where can they find you?
Well, they can go to different places. They can go to Live Greatness, so you can check my website. Or you can go to 1-800 Christian, we Christin, no CH, because I'm Spanish, so we do it a CR way. So it's 1-800, then spell out the number 18000 Christian.com. They can find all my different links. They can find ways to contact me. They can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and I'm always willing and open for everybody. If anybody ever needs help or anything, I always tell them, reach out to me, and I'll try to find the right person that can help you or connect you with the right person.
Fantastic.
That's
We'll have
great.
those links up as well for everyone to see as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been great being with you this morning, and appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, and you have a wonderful day, and we'll be seeing you on Forbes.
Yep.
Thank you. Oh, I just wanted to say one more thing if I have time. Yeah. Roy, I just wanted to say that I love your accent. I have always, if it's the perfect American accent, it have always been like yours. When I hear yours, I'm like, my God, he sounds so cool. He sounds like incredible, sexy. Like when people talk that way, I was like, damn, that's incredible.
When really, I don't have an accent. You do.
No. Well,
no, he says that to me too. Like Texans don't have the accent. Everyone else does.
No, exactly. It's like us. We hear your accent, and I loved it. When you start talking, I was like, damn, that guy is so cool.
Well, thank you.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Have a great day.